What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. I'm not going to be showing my face in this video today because I'm feeling a little sick, and trust me, I'm not looking the best. So I'm just going to show you guys the reef tanks, which I'm sure you guys want to look at anyways. The point of today's video is going to be primarily on the 20-gallon Nuvo reef tank, and I'm going to be talking about some of the issues that I'm running into with converting this into a mixed reef. I apologize about the glare, but if you guys are new here, I set this tank primarily up for softies in hopes to just have a really low maintenance tank, with the exception of my LPS right here, my Duncan and my green bubble that's covered in some algae, which we will touch on that here in a little bit. But over the course of, I don't know, maybe a couple months, we have accumulated about 6 pieces of different SPS. So this tank has definitely turned into like kind of a catch-all for different types of coral, and it is very much a mixed reef now. The first SPS that we got into the tank is this green Montipora. I know it looks kind of brownish red on camera. It started out much redder. I'll try to pop up a photo and show you guys what it looks like before, but as you can see, or if it'll focus, it's kind of got those green polyps now, and it's starting to bring back that green color. So I'm hoping that guy will come back. He's got that little white edge to him. I am dosing the tank, so I might have to up my milliliters of reef to reef because it looks like these guys are absorbing it all. In the back, we've got a few different pieces of SPS. I did make a video on adding some SPS to this tank, so if you guys want to check out that video, I believe it's one back. But I've got a pink Digi or purple Digi in the back, green and red Montipora on the side, and a couple others that I don't know the names of quite yet. But yeah, definitely a couple different sticks there, as well as the plating coral. This tank is getting absolutely packed. I don't really have much space for more coral besides maybe on that right side there. But as you can see, this whole front bottom section is covered up with these toadstools. Again, algae covering up that coral right there, and we'll touch on that here in a minute. And then coming up here, we've got the green bubble and the Duncan, as well as our big leather, the green leather at the back there that's starting to really get some size on it. And then, of course, the leather up here. And then coming over to the side, our SPS racks pretty much take up this whole like fourth section of the tank, because we can't really put anything underneath in the back because it's shaded. So a little bit of that toadstool is kind of shaded, but it's okay. I've got a couple things coming up. Not going to tell you guys quite yet in this video, but big changes coming, so just stay tuned for that. Now, issue number 1. If we look right to the left of this leather colony up here on the top, you guys can see that it's not doing so well. And again, I apologize about the glare, filming this during the day, and my window's just kind of peeping through there. But as you guys can see, most of that leather on the left side is like drooping, or it's just looking really dread, and it is not nearly as fluffy and happy as the remaining colony, and there's a reason for that. If you follow my videos or my TikToks closely, you would know that this green Montipora was actually where that green leather is, and when this was fully opened and extended, it comes out to damn near where this Duncan is. And so when the Montipora was right there, it started to touch the leather on the left side, and there was some coral warfare, and as you guys know, these guys got some stingers on them, and the leather did not like that. And it's been about a week since I've moved it, and it hasn't been touching anything since, and it still hasn't come back. So we'll see what happens with that. Like I said, I've got some stuff coming up in the future, so we might be kind of rearranging this section here. If we have to cut off some of this coral and maybe put it in a different tank or try to sell it so it does better, then we'll do that. But yeah, that's the first big issue I'm having, is some coral warfare going on because of how limited of space we are in this tank. Now, with that being said, let's move into our second issue, and it kind of relates to the first one in that we're running out of space in this tank. I've got, like I said, most of my leathers down here, but once all these guys get big and plump and juicy, and if we add some more toadstools, we're out of room. We don't have much more space to put these guys. We could put them on this right side, but there's not much flow over here, and I did that on purpose. So all this space over here is pretty much what we got, and like I said, we're running out. Reason I'm relating that issue to the mixed reef is because each and every one of these corals kind of needs a specific spot in the tank, whether it's close to the light, close to the flow, or kind of in the middle or somewhere between there. Each of these corals has a different requirement. So a lot of these SPS have to be close to the light, and they have to be in the direction of the flow. So the racks had to go here, and that minimizes a lot of space underneath because of that shadowing that I was talking about earlier. And for my toadstools, these guys I like on the sand. I just think they look a little bit better than on the rock. It looks more natural to me, and most of the bases on here have to be put in the sand anyways because they're too large to just even put on the rock itself. So a lot of my toadstools have to go, or all of my toadstools have to go on the sand bed, which only leaves a little bit of space for the rest of the coral. So my green bubble, my Duncan, all the GSP, and my leathers kind of have to get configured onto this weird island. The leather on top and the GSP on the bottom are both pretty much solidified to this section here. So the coral is the aquascape or the structure, so I guess there's not really anything to change there, but it only gives us one spot to put our leather, which is back there. And then, like I said, our two LPS have been there since day one, but all in all, we're just running out of space in this tank, and that's the whole point of the changes coming in the future, so stay tuned for that. I know I just dumped a lot on you guys, but we're gonna keep going on to issue number 3. They all somewhat tie in together. So the first one being that coral warfare, leading into the second issue, which is running out of space, leading into the third issue, which is having such minimal space and having all these large colonies and kind of this large aquascape on the right side. It really restricts flow. As you guys probably know, we've got our Jabeo SLW10s on the right side. They're at about 50% pushing water over to the left side, which is where our flow demanding SPS is. And so far, I believe it's getting enough flow. As you guys can see, it's got a pretty gnarly kind of like ripple wave going on. So in terms of that, we're okay. Where we're lacking flow is actually for our softies, and something that you might not think needs a lot of flow. These toadstools and even these leathers up top, and even the GSP, they do like a good amount of flow. And if you give it to them over a couple of days, they will adjust and acclimate to it and come back twice as big, I swear. Now on to the fourth and final issue that I'm having with this tank, and this is the only one that's not related to this system being a mixed reef. It's just an issue that I'm having in general, and that's the one that I touched on in the very beginning, is this green hair algae. It kind of came out of nowhere. The tank had dinos at one point, and I ended up taking out my Chemi Pure Blue and just putting a bunch of nutrients into the tank, hoping that the dinos would go away, and it did. But now recently, over the past couple weeks, well, I should say maybe more of a few weeks, we've got some green hair algae growing over this piece of the rock, that piece of the rock, and it's growing over the green bubble, unfortunately, as well as our green toadstool, which hasn't been open now in probably like 3 months. And that's all due to me just being a bad Aquarius and bad husbandry. I should have been removing this manually more, and I'm hoping that this toadstool will come back over time. But I think we can still save the green bubble. We just need to remove a lot of that algae manually, and then start reducing our nutrients once again, trying to counteract this algae issue. If you guys have any suggestions on what I should do to try and get rid of this algae, please let me know. I know there's like the 3 days of darkness. I know you can take 1 or 2 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide and try to spot kill some of these patches of algae. However, I think that method is a little sketchy, but let me know in the comments down below what I should do to help prevent and get rid of some of this green hair algae that's in the tank. Now in terms of upgrades and changes, I don't want to give away too much because a lot of the stuff is still up in the air. However, I do want to let you guys know that I ordered something substantial for the channel, so just be prepared for that. We do have some upgrades coming, but like I said, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details. I'll do a whole update video on that soon, as well as like unboxing and reviews and stuff like that. So take a guess in the comments down below what you think we got for the channel. But we are going to be doing some consolidation here, so stay tuned for that. I know I didn't show the 3.7 pico in the video. Here it is. I'm not going to give you guys an update on it really, because not much has changed. The mushroom's still doing good, but yeah, consolidation. You guys will see that here in the future, so stay tuned for that. And if you guys are curious, I guess we can check out the 3-gallon planted tank. It's got literally nothing in it, and there's a gnarly glare, so you guys can't see anything. We're still tweaking on this, and I don't really like to show stuff to my viewers that I'm not proud of, so I don't know, we're still working on this. The lighting is still doing good. We've got some rechargeable batteries in there, and the plants are still alive, so I think we're good there. That is all of the updates I have for you guys right now. I might be doing some fragging on this green leather, and then this leather always pops off a bunch of little frags around the bottom of the sand, so if you guys want to see a fragging video coming up here soon, I might make a couple frags. I've got an extra frag rack that I could put on this right side for some softies if you guys want to see that for informational reasons. But with all that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.